Welcome to Staffworks, a channel that explores events, projects, and activities happening around the globe, with more focus with those that are happening in Africa. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I kindly request you to do so. Also, hit the notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video, you are notified. In our today's video, we'll be talking about a big infrastructural project that is being undertaken in Kenya, Nairobi City, the Nairobi Expressway. If you are a keen follower of events that happen in the social media, you may have noticed several pictures taken on this project, which is currently being implemented. The Nairobi Expressway project, also known as the double-decker road, involves construction of a 4-lane and 6-lane dual carriageway within the existing median of Mombasa Road, Uhuru Highway, and Waiyaki Way. It also has 11 exits and entry routes that will act as toll ramps. The road or the project is designed to access controlled dual carriageway to run along the central reserve of the A8 road, starting from Mlolongo all the way to the intersection with James Gichuru Road. A8 road is the road that starts in the coastal region of Kenya, Mombasa City to be precise, and runs through Nairobi to Nakuru, Kericho, all the way to Malaba, border town with Uganda. The road is a 4-lane dual carriageway with Class A standard and design speed of 80 kilometers per hour. The total length of the project is approximately 27.1 kilometers, including 15.7 kilometers at grade and 11 kilometers elevated with entry or exits, which number 10, and these are also called the toll plazas. The project is the first expressway built in East and Central Africa and the second largest toll road in Africa after the Dakar Toll Highway. China Communication Construction Company, the parent firm of China Road and Bridge Corporation, is funding and building the highway. The project is being developed in a public-private partnership model, PPP, with 30-year concession and $977 million US dollars, which is equivalent to 109.8 billion Kenya shillings, as dividends and other incomes from the 2,765 million US dollars, which is equivalent to 309.4 billion Kenya shillings in terms of revenues that are expected from the mega road for the 27 years it will own the double-decker road. This means that CRBC, through its local firm, which is Moja Expressway Company, will pocket an estimated 3.9 billion annually in terms of Kenya shillings, or 35% of revenues generated from toll fees charged on motorists who will use the road. The cost of operating the road is estimated to be 394 million US dollars, which equivalent to 45.1 billion Kenya shillings. Motorists using the road will pay between $1, which is around 110 shillings, and $15, depending on the size of the car and also the distance that will be traveled. That data shows that the bulk of the proceeds from the toll charges will go towards debt repayment, including interest, dividends, corporate tax, operational expenditure. About 864 million US dollars, equivalent to 100 billion Kenya shillings, will be used for debt repayments for loans tapped by CRBC for construction of the expressway. Kenya Revenue Authority is expected to get 47.4 billion Kenya shillings for value added tax and corporation tax over the period of 27 years. After recouping its investment over 27 years, CRBC will transfer ownership of the road to the state, and that will happen in around 2049. So what role is the Kenyan government playing, and will the government or the people of Kenya get the value of money out of this project? The government of Kenya is handling land acquisition, relocation of services, oversight and tax waivers, among other roles in this project. The cost of these on the Kenya side seems quite manageable at this stage of the project, although it's prudent to check the long-term cost benefits analysis in order to be satisfied and also be able to judge the viability of the project. The developers will operate the road and recoup their investment together with profits before handing it over to Kenya by 2049, and beyond this year they have to be paid. This makes the contract a take or pay. Take or pay provisions in a contract gives one party the obligation of either take the service or paying a specified amount of money. Take or pay provisions benefit both the buyer and the seller by sharing risks, and can benefit a society by reducing transaction and cost. In terms of progress, the construction of the expressway has made some good progress as announced by the government officials, and the completion status is currently at over 95%. According to the government officials, the project is on schedule for opening to the public by April 2022. This is just a few days from now. Initially, the project was to take 3 years, but the government shortened it to 1.5 years, with contractors working 24 hours on site. So there are various factors that made this project to be fast-tracked. One, the president, who is retiring this year when the general election is held on August 9th, would like the project to be completed by the time his term is coming to an end. So we'd like to commission the project, being one of his legacy projects. So this project was to be done quickly for various reasons, political, among other reasons. In terms of benefits that will be derived from this project, apart from provision of employment, transfers of technology, which is something which has been debated whether the Chinese contractor have done that, given that they are still the contractors who are being given the large projects in Kenya. There's the element of local content, although this has also been debated whether these projects have delivered value, especially to the public and or to the local business. There are times when critics say that China companies, construction companies, source their materials all the way from their country, and this denies the local content or the local contractors or suppliers a chance to earn something out of these projects. One of the main purpose of this project is to decongest the section of a road through transferring an estimated 30% of traffic volume from the existing road to the new expressway. So with this decongestion, it will be easy to travel in that section of the road within a relatively short time. So the time of travel between these two points, that is from the Mlolongo point up to James Gichuru intersection, this will be reduced to 20 minutes. So with this, since it is estimated that Kenya loses 50 million shillings daily due to traffic congestion, so this loss will be reduced. Employment is also cited as one of the benefits that will be has been derived from this project. People, skilled labor and unskilled labor has been engaged in this project, and this to some extent has helped in the improvement of the standards of life of those who have engaged in this project. This project has had its fair share of controversy, issues ranging to whether this project should be termed as a private partnership project, public-private partnership project. There are issues to do with being an elite project, given that users will be required to pay for them to access this road and also to avoid the jam that characterize the city of Nairobi. There are also environmental concerns, cutting down of trees. It is estimated that 2,500 trees have been cut down. The question is whether the contractor will plant these trees. There was a policy once that once you cut down one tree, you're supposed to plant two. Do you even have a space for planting such enormous amount of trees? There's also the issue of demolition of infrastructure, bridges that have been constructed just a few years to the implementation of this project. So questions have arose as to whether this was necessary, whether it was necessary to build these bridges, knowing that a project which will require them to be demolished is coming soon. So given that CBRC is a subsidiary of CCC, which is a wholly owned state entity, can we really say that this is a PPP project? The argument that this is a government-to-government project is more convincing to the PPP's project experts. So given that the company that is doing this project is owned by the China government, so can we truly say that this is a PPP project? So some argue that this project will fit within the government-to-government projects due to the structure, although the argument here is that the project takes the PPP model, that is the CBRC will has designed, it will build, also operate, and then once they recoup their costs and gain some profits, they are supposed to return the project to the owners, and that's the government or the Kenya public. On the issue of project being an elite infrastructure, most residents in Kenya use public means, that is the matatus or the private minibuses, bodabodas or motorbikes, and taxis to travel from one point to the other. Question remains over whether these forms of transport will be able to afford the toll fees that are charged to use the highway. It means that they will be left in the jams below the highway as the elite zoom past them above. So the project is being built for a section of the society, and this being an election year, and we have some slogans where class war are emerging. These might be an issue, especially when it approaches the election year, election period. So there might be some issues around that, around the project being funded by the public-private model, where the government was supposed to chip in some money, and then these projects only serves a section of people, the elite. The environmental impact of the project is another concern. There was an outcry, especially around the famous fig tree in Nairobi, and this tree was only saved when the president intervened. Also, some 2,500 trees have been felled to make way for the new road, and there is little faith that there will be. For over 40 years, infrastructure development in Nairobi was guided by the 1973 master plan, which was replaced in 2014 with the Nairobi Integrated Urban Development Master Plan, which is also known as New Plan. However, many recombination of the 1973 master plan were not realized, leading to additional cost in some future infrastructure upgrades, a factor that has contributed to lack of commitment and political goodwill, as well as the capacity shortages in the city government. Failure to align service ducts with infrastructure development has resulted to added cost when making changes. The construction has raised question over a huge amount of money that was spent to construct 2 footbridges on the existing Mombasa road. We have one at General Motors and the other one at Bellevue at a cost of 363 million Kenya shillings. While state officials were aware of plans to construct the expressway, which was supposed to ease the worsening traffic situation in Nairobi. General Motor Footbridge was constructed at a cost of 177 million Kenya shillings, and it was dismantled, and a new one has been erected as part of the road. Although government officials argue that the superstructure of the existing bridges were constructed using structural steel members which can be recovered and assembled at the same or different location, taxpayers' money was lost due to poor decisions. The fact that the government requested taxpayers to foot a 7.7 billion Kenya shillings bill to move water and sewerage lines from the path of the expressway means that some cost would have been avoided if there was a plan, a good plan for that matter. Also, the fact that the roads in the city were not designed with the surface ducts means that about a quarter of the cost of upgrading a road now goes to relocation of services. Right now, planners say that they have changed that so that there is no disturbance of surface ducts every time when the building of a road is concerned. This is something that was supposed to be done long ago, and it would have led to reduction in terms of the cost of this project if there were surface ducts, and also there was planning such that we don't have demolition of infrastructure such as bridges. The cost of constructing this project would have been less, and the taxpayers would not have been required to cough 7.7 billion to cater for these changes. There is also a question on whether the expressway will really help in decongesting of the city, which is characterized with heavy traffic jams. It is estimated that the expressway will move approximately 22,000 vehicles per day. Given that the current data shows of traffic, there is also the challenge of support from the public, given that there will be a need to change the laws to allow Kenyans to be charged to use such an infrastructure. Toll fees were introduced in the late 1990s but was scrapped in the mid-90s in favor of the roads maintenance levy, currently which is charged at 18 shillings per litre of petrol and diesel. The return of toll fees is the result of using private investment in state infrastructure to build roads, energy plants, housing, with investors recouping their cash from charging user fees like toll. There are concerns that lack of full disclosure on tolling of the Nairobi Expressway could result in public resistance, and this could potentially jolt government plans to have the contractor recover cost from charging motorists to use the road. Plan to charge motorists is yet to get full support from the public, and because there is inadequate information and also public awareness of the toll system is low. In Kenya, there is an extensive evidence of lack of public support for tolling, with a proposal to introduce tolling in 2016 in one of the key roads, the Nairobi Southern Bypass, receiving a huge public outcry. To the public, there is concern that tolls will be a double tax on many motorists who currently are paying for road maintenance through the fuel levy. While with the analysts synthesizing the legislators of the need of awareness, not only to the public but to the legislative level for legitimization of tolling system. So it will be a toll order. Already there is a law that is in parliament seeking to introduce a toll. Already has started receiving some opposition from the public. So we'll see what happens, especially when the government is planning to use this kind of a model to finance its construction of roads, and thus reducing the public debt that is reaching a level that is alarming. To the public, there is a concern that the tolls would be a double tax on many motorists who currently are paying for the load usage, through the fuel levy. There is also concern that the road may not raise enough traffic. According to a study by the Inter-American Development Bank, a road is likely to be viable for construction through the toll model if it has a flow of private public partnership. Already a French consortium of companies has been given this project to build. The project will be at 233 kilometers highway, and it will cost 160 billion Kenya shillings. The project is funded by private investors and French companies led by Vinci Highways or Concessions will design, finance, build, operate, and maintain the road for 30 years, and thereafter give it back to the Kenyan government. The 2-lane highway will be expanded into a 4-lane carriageway and later into 6 lanes in its busy section. The government is planning to put more highways to be constructed through this model and similar plans, but one has to see how the two projects will fare. Another project is the Nyali Bridge in Mombasa, which is also planned to be implemented using the same model. It has reached the listing level and 3 firms have been shortlisted. So soon we may also see this project kicking off. So with construction of this project using this model, it will be interesting to see how they fare, and also to be a key lesson to the government and also the public and also to the East Africa region as a whole to learn from. So thank you for watching this video. We'll be doing more videos on this project, especially when it nears its completion and also when it starts operation, and also other videos of the same nature. So thank you for coming out all the way to this point. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I will request you to do so. Also hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you are notified. So thank you and welcome for more videos.